Tennessee is really close to being a championship contender. Now, a lot of people continue to say, I think it's two average teams from this past weekend, and Tennessee's average. Guys, I understand that while Tennessee, first of all, like I said at the very beginning, you might think Tennessee's average, but tell me who's not. Like, tell me who has at times not looked average this year, because there's not very many teams. And in a season, in a one-game season in the playoffs, how many of y'all feel really good about consistently moving the ball against that defense? Now, that is, defense travels. I still believe that there's a place for defense to win championships. That defense is fantastic at all three levels. Was worried about the injury to Keenan Peely. Not a problem. T-Lander went in, played really well. You look at the back end, been concerned. I've been concerned about their secondary. I thought it was a huge question mark coming into the season. I did hear also, though, in fall camp, and if you look back at our show, and I told you names to remember, I told you need to remember the name Jermod McCoy. Jermod McCoy has been really good for Tennessee. Has a big interception in the end zone off of what I thought was a terrific defensive play. You look at where they're at right now. Vols are one of the top teams in the country as far as defending the opposition. They're able to rush the quarterback this past weekend against a pretty good offensive line, I might add. You get 12 quarterback hurries. You get 3 sacks. You intercept 2 passes. You add 6 more tackles for loss. And this defense is championship caliber. It's the offense that has maybe been holding them back just a little bit. And a lot of people have said, well, if Nico just hits deep balls. Yeah, and he hasn't. He hasn't done it. I mean, there have been countless misses downfield on overthrows against both Arkansas and against Florida. There have been a bunch of them. But with this offense, the way it's designed, I feel fairly confident they're going to continue to be able to run the football. I really like Dylan Sampson. I think he's one of the best backs I've seen this season. I've seen some really good running backs. Sometimes you have to see running backs in person. How hard do they hit the hole? How fast are they? Are they explosive? Are they electric? Dylan Sampson is excellent. Had the fumble early in the game, bounced back from that really impressively. Over 100 yards in the second half, 18 carries in the second half after 8 touches there in the first half. Like, by the way, he was at one point banged up in the game. Like, I am really optimistic about him as an individual. I think Nico's legs are a factor and something that you always have to be mindful of when you're trying to defend Tennessee. So the fact that the quarterback can run and they can run it over and over and over again, it forces you defensively to sell out against the run, meaning you're going to get a lot of one-on-ones on the outside. And I don't think Tennessee's receivers are outrageously good. They've been banged up, but they can win one-on-ones pretty regularly. So if this team moving forward can continue to run the ball the way they've run it and get you on islands in the back end, if Nico can hit 2 deep balls a game, that might be all they need. Might be it. And he hit 2 in this game. 1 on a 3rd and 6 rolling to his right down the right sideline, perfectly thrown ball. And 2 late in the game, slot fade, what ultimately ended up being the game-winning touchdown. All he's got to hit is 2 a game. Because the way they defend and the way they can run the football, the likelihood of you scoring 30 points on them is pretty small. But man, the way they can run it, the way they can tempo you and keep you off balance a little bit and hit a couple big plays downfield, man, they are not a team I would want to mess with moving forward. Their best football is probably in front of them too, if their quarterback can get some confidence.